So I've heard that Diddy's been arrested, and I don't really know what to say about it. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to be wrong, and I don't want to say the wrong things when it comes to it. I can't help but not trust the media. Um, I've known that I'm Christ for 11 years, and the media have been doing things to keep me hidden. YouTube have been doing things to prevent me from reaching out to people, and there seems to be something in people's brains that seem to just be acting like I'm not saying what I'm saying, and just continuing on their normal life, and that's how it's been for 11 years. So um, I'm not too sure what to say about Diddy. He is the angel of God the Father. I did know that he was promoting God the Father a lot throughout the last 10 years. Always, whenever I didn't really follow him or anything, but whenever I did look at his Instagram, there would always be subtle support towards God the Father, which I was always confused about, because I was like, does he know? Doesn't he know? And I think he probably didn't know. Maybe that's the point. He didn't know. I don't know who knows. I know the people at the top know, people who are controlling the media. They know, because that would explain why all the stuff that you see on the news is all irrelevant and all shit and all lies. And because of this, though, it makes it very hard to assess the difference between the truth and the lies. Maybe I don't know why they would have set him. I mean, I thought that hotel thing was maybe fake or something, because he was in on this support, but I feel tired. I feel like I really just am waiting every day for the people who know to come and help me, and give me a nicer house. And I was thinking about a sort of fake rapture, no, a real rapture, but a fake sacrifice. But I just feel like it's been so long that I don't think I even want to go for it. Part of the rapture belief is that the woman will be saved and then go to live in a nice house where she will be safe. And then at the end of the 7 years, the bride will come back to earth, and that's when you'll see Christ. So, a part of me is wondering, maybe I should just scrap the whole the fake. We've got all the singers and the celebrities, and maybe you should just expose their names on that day, but maybe I shouldn't be involved in any way. I don't see why I would want to be involved. This world has not helped me in any way. This world doesn't support me. This world doesn't want to support me or help me, and therefore I just feel like, why would I want to help you in any way? Why would I want to it's not even embarrassing myself, because the fake rapture is about AI, so it's got nothing to do with me, and it's just about finding out who hates me. But I know the answer: who hates me? Everyone hates me. So it's just like, why bother doing that when I already know the answer? I guess how much they hate me, but to be honest, you don't need to ask this. You just need to ask questions. Like, do you think a rape victim deserves to go to jail for something she had no control over? If you think yes to that answer, then you know that how sick you are on the level of 1 to 10, 10 being very sick and 1 being no sick. Well, you're 10, you're very, very sick. And I don't know, maybe there should be some test, but the test doesn't have to involve me. It doesn't have to involve it doesn't have to involve me. It could just be involved just asking people basic questions about what they think. Do you think that Moses was a good guy? Anyone who says yes to that obviously is just completely non-sympathetic towards all the people that he supposedly killed in his stories about going to war and stuff. So, there are lots of tests you can do without actually involving me. So should I even get involved? Maybe I shouldn't. I know we're dealing with the Islamic world, which is inversion and everything that's the opposite of me. And if the whole of the Islamic world think that I'm going through some sacrifice that's real, where it involves the R word over and over with all the singers, are they actually going to take me seriously? Probably not. So I don't know how to play it, but I know that people are just ignoring me, and I'm just watched an Andrew Tate victim speaks out, and that victim did not seem like a victim. She seemed like a very hardcore businesswoman who knows how to make money out of people, and I know Andrew Tate in his interviews about how to choose victims, you know, women who oblige to him and do his every will, and then you just kind of use them to make money out of it, you know. But he did mention occasionally you come across people that don't take, and you know, it's clear that they're not going to go with this, and then you just let them go. You know, he said that about some of his people. You try and work them in, and you try and get them to see things from your perspective, and if you can't, you just let them go and just fail with them, basically. And so if this woman has been in that kind of relationship, I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the women that wouldn't be played by him, because she seemed very, very strong. You know, not everyone is the same. He likes to put down women, but at the same time he also likes to surround himself by women that just look up to him and listen to him. And I was listening to how she was talking and just thinking, well, this obviously isn't a victim. But it also made me think maybe she's being paid by his university students. You know, if his university students are all making money from him and his publicity, you know, when you're having a business and you've got loads of people all trying to make money off something, you know, part of his brand is him, and therefore if he is stained, his business is stained. And if all the people who are working under him, you know, are making lots of money by his fame and by his popularity, okay, they want there to be some controversy, because this is how they get more public media, and how they make more money. So they're acknowledging that, but at the same time they don't want him in jail and being accused, you know, with all these charges, because that's going to be bad for the business, because people are only going to want to get they're not going to want to spend money on his business if or they're not going to want to get involved in his activity if he's involved in all this. So yeah, there would be a lot of people willing to pay some of these people on this list to just promote him and say that this is nonsense, when really it's just actually just another business deal based on lies and deception, you know. When I first started massage, the first few people that I saw were actually on my bed in my bedroom in my parents' flat, and I did this dance group, Stars, I can't remember the name of it, but there was a guy who kind of run it or organised it or funded it, and I actually met him, and he actually had a session with him, and it was fine, you know. I don't offer sexual stuff, and he didn't ask for that, he didn't want that. I can't even remember it really, but I know that when we went to the group, it was kind of like a secret that we had, you know. I had invited him to this flat, to my parents' flat, and given him a session, but I wasn't going to tell the group that, and there was something kind of, you know, like secret about it. But yeah, I when I was thinking about Tate and why some people, some women would be victims and some wouldn't be, you know, I can imagine him being in that kind of situation where he's got some women who he is abusing, and maybe even goes as far as beating and treating like crap, because I feel like he's the type of person that gains something from hurting others, you know. I feel like he does have a psychopathic side of him that's buried inside of him, and he wants to take his anger out. But I feel like part of this psychopathic mental illness is that he would want to take this and then suddenly change, and then convince that person, that victim, that to the other girls that there's nothing going on, that what you think just happened, or what did just happen didn't just happen. And you know, I can, for that case that's going on in France, you know, whether it be real or not, I don't know, you know. I don't know if some woman has been R-worded by 80 other guys over a period of 10 years, when they put her unconscious, and the husband got loads of guys to rape her over a period of time, and part of his need wasn't actually the rapes, but I think part of it would be, if this story was true, I don't know if it's true or not, maybe, I'm sure it's definitely happened. Is this story true? I don't know, I can't say, but I can imagine there being some people that would do that, you know, R-word someone when they're unconscious, and then part of part of the sickness is seeing them the next day, not knowing what's happened, acting like they, are in a good relationship, acting like everything's fine, when he knows something that she doesn't know. And I think in the Andrew Tate, if there were some girls who were victims and some girls who weren't, I feel like part of his enjoyment would actually be knowing that I know this about these people. These other people don't know what's going on, and I've managed to control these girls that I've whacked, basically, these girls that I've hit, these girls that I've strangled. I've managed to control them and not get them to tell the other girls what's happened. It's like a secret, but a sick secret, not just I've gone to I've had a massage from someone and the rest of the group don't know. There was something interesting about that. Like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say who this person was, and I'm not going to reveal it. And then there was something nice about having like a slightly intimate, but a secret, basically. But I just felt like that scenario of me kind of reminded me of this Tate scenario, why some girls would be victims and some girls might not be. Because I feel like part of what he likes is knowing that there's a whole bunch of stuff that some people don't know, but I know. But I've managed to control this person into not saying certain things. So, and also I just feel like if with the Tate things, I feel like part of the scam isn't necessarily scamming the girls. It's wrong if he's taking 70% of their money away when they're the ones that are doing all the work, then it's wrong. But if the truth is that he's actually only got 10 models and then he's got like 60 other people who are probably not as attractive, maybe they're overage, maybe they're a guy, maybe they're quite large or something, there's some people that wouldn't make in as much money as others. And if these people are doing all the typing and doing all the talking, and the reason why Andrew Tate's getting 70% is because part of the business that he has is actually just a scam, conning guys into thinking that they're talking to hot women when really they're talking to ugly males or larger females or older females. If a guy thinks he's talking to a 21-year-old fit girl because she's just stripping naked in front of him, but really he's talking to a 60-year-old woman who's completely different. It is a kind of scam. It should be a reason why you shouldn't want to go on these sites, because you're kind of just being scammed and played. But if they're giving like £2,000 gifts to a model, like, oh, you're young, you're 19, you're just starting out, I'm giving you £1,000 because I want to help you in your career. But if really all he's talking to is some 6-year-old woman who's got enough, or I don't know, like I don't know what the arrangement is, but I just feel like if there is a lot of scamming involved in his company, or if his university, Hustlers University, is okay, a proper university on the site, but as soon as you get to know the people, you actually start finding out bad tactics on how to lie to people and how to have I'm thinking about money only kind of mentality. If that's part of the deal, or how to be a pimp, how to beat up women the right way, if subtly it gives all these bad influences, then it will be a lot harder to prove. But I don't know, Andrew Tate has got a lot of stuff online where he's just such a vile person, clearly. But yeah, I just, if there is this scam, then the girls too might feel like if Andrew goes to jail, then they might too. And if he's got a university too that also subtly or secretly teaches people how to scam people, then these people who have been taught how to scam people, they don't want to be investigated. They want to protect their leader, because if their leader goes down, maybe they'll go down too. So I just feel like whatever's going on with the Andrew Tate situation, it is a lot bigger, because I'm not certain that even the women who are victims are maybe victims. If you know that you're posing and pretending to talk to someone when really you've got some other people talking to them, and then sometimes you're talking to other people and that you've got a bunch of people pretending to be you having conversations with other people, that's kind of a scam. I wouldn't want to get involved. If someone said you could be a webcam and you have relationships with people, but it's actually just a scam, and if you want to sleep or whatever, you can go and sleep, and someone else will pretend to be you and continue the conversations, continue making money. Okay, you won't get all the money because you're not actually working. If this is, I don't know what the business is, but I feel like if there's going to be a lot of secrets in the video, if there's a lot of people lying and protecting him, and it could be because they have some element of guilt too. You know, when it comes to prosecuting people, it's not just a case of are they guilty or not guilty, because it might be a case of these girls didn't mean to go into this job. It just started off as, you know, it started off, well, that's how Tate said it started off, with one girl and him thinking that this girl is so stupid that she can't type and that she's not saying the right thing. So he started talking for her and saying all the right things, or saying all the right things, just saying all the things that would please the person, and the girl just being like, okay, I'll do whatever you want, you know, because she was in love or whatever. But yeah, if it starts off like that and then he just starts getting more and more people involved and then getting other people to speak to do the typing work, and I don't know, it's kind of like it is kind of like a scam company, but the people that are the ones that are donating, you know, if you just given £2,000 to a 19-year-old to help her with her career, when really it's not, when really the majority of that money has gone to, you know, a rich billionaire, you know, I don't think you'd be very happy, and these are the people that are actually the victims. But at the same time, if the only reason why that girl who he gave the money to made 30%, you know, if the only reason why they made 30% is because of all this lying and scamming and convincing people to give over their money, you know, technically the work is not hers, so therefore she shouldn't deserve to have that much, because she wouldn't have got that much if it weren't for other people talking for her. You know, I find it hard to promote myself, and promotion is very expensive, and if someone is going to promote me as God and take a huge amount of money away, well, I've been trying to promote, I've got myself as being God for 11 years and I've got absolutely nowhere. I can't even make a penny from it. So if someone can make £1 million and is going to give me a third, you know, a third of 30% of it, that's really, really good, and I'm not going to be complaining. Why? Because without that person I would be making nothing. And yeah, I think a lot of these girls wouldn't have gone into this industry, or wouldn't have done it because they needed the support, or they needed people to tell them that they're looking good. Although I think partly Andrew Tate would insult them and say they don't look good unless Andrew is helping them or something like that. So I feel like he would angle it to his own. You know, I really don't like him and I really don't want to support him. So I do think he should go to jail. But yeah, if I was to help prosecute him, I would say just because some girls turn out that it's not that they're not a victim, that doesn't mean that all the other girls are, because maybe he's had this sort of maybe he has victimized a handful of girls, but has also taken enjoyment or pleasure from knowing that these girls are lying to the rest of the group about what's really going on. And maybe that's similar to what happened with Diddy and Cassie. I don't know, maybe he has had a couple of girls that he's been controlling and has enjoyed hiding it with everyone else. But I don't know in Diddy's case though, because I can't help, I don't hate Diddy. I don't feel like this huge amount of anger towards him. I do towards the Tate brothers. So I don't know. I would want to hold back on my thoughts when it comes to Diddy. I think when it comes to Diddy, my only real thoughts are, I'm waiting for a rapture to happen. He's one of my angels. Is this as a sign that something's going to happen soon? You know, I feel like when it comes to the Diddy case, I just think about myself and my need to also want to be arrested so that I can talk to people about my beliefs, because I'm tired of being ignored and having no one talk to me about it. You know, my sister was taken into the police station 2 days ago and was questioned about some of my videos because I insult George in them. But it's just like, my videos are about me being God. Why would the police officers not talk about me being God? Why would they not ask questions? You know, I asked them, Sophie, did they say anything about me being God? You know, because that's what my videos about. My videos aren't about George. I insult him because he's a horrible person, but I insult a lot of people. You know, and that's my view. I'm saying my view on people based on how they react and stuff. And you know, and she said they didn't. Why didn't they? If they, I mean, one of the possibilities, maybe they know that I'm God and they're just seeing Sophie's reaction. You know, if a bunch of rich elite are about to expose me as being God soon, and I tell the world that my sister has spent 11 years not believing, I don't think they'd believe me. But I think if you've got a video, if you've got a police station clip of her watching a video where I'm talking about God and she just completely ignores everything that I say in regards to me being God and just focuses on the couple of that negative things that I've said about her ex-husband, you know, if you've got a clip of that, then I guess you'll know what I'm experiencing with her. You know, she just has absolutely no desire or interest or belief or she has no ability to care about the fact that I'm calling myself God and that I can't get anyone to support me whilst the church is making billions of pounds a year on false gods and promoting a false Christ and a false lie. But yeah, I started a GoFundMe page, not expecting to get any responses from it. It'd be nice if I did, but I people don't want to promote God. They don't like God unless God. They just want to use God for their own sake, and you know, it's. I don't know why people would give lots of money. Well, people like giving money to the false god because by giving the money to the false god, they feel like they're giving money to their delusions. I believe in this, and I'm giving money to this church because this church is feeding me the delusion that I want to know about God. God can help me. God is going to do this. God is going to take me to a nice big house in America somewhere. No, that's what's going to happen to me. But is it going to happen to me though? Is the question, because I'm getting older and older, and is Diddy being arrested? Is this a sign that I'm closer to the time that I'm going to be arrested? You know, I know in 2013, it was the end of September that I went into a mental hospital when I first found out. I found out that was God, Christ, and I told people, and they put me in a mental hospital for 10 days, and that was very, very annoying. So it's interesting that it's happening at a similar time to what Diddy's going through, but yeah, it's not for me to say if he's guilty or not. I know that he's been living in a massive mansion, having a nice life, whilst I've been suffering and just going through absolute hell. So if he is guilty of the crimes, and if he does go to jail for 10, 20 years because of it, I can't really care because I've been in prison for a very long time, and it's, I don't know. I know whatever's going on in the media. I just feel like there's so many lies. You know, I don't even think I believe that COVID was real now. I think it was killing off a few weak people, and I think that the governments are blocking YouTube videos that talk about it because they don't want to spread misinformation. Now that's one thing to not spread misinformation if you're trying to get people to take vaccines, but those vaccines are not, we don't need to take them any longer. So why have you still got this censorship on the videos? It doesn't make sense. If the only reason why you're putting censorship about false information about COVID on YouTube videos was because you didn't want people to not get the vaccine, well, that time of getting the vaccine is over now, so you don't need to still have censorship on all these videos. And the fact that censorship, or every video that I watch where people mention the C word, you know, they call it the C word because they don't want to get taken down. You know, the fact that this is still happening must mean that censorship on these videos are still being used. And if censorship are still being used, when, you know, what if fake information goes around right now? You're not trying to get people to take vaccines, but to help them with saving this from this thing. So because you're not trying to get vaccines, then there's no need for you to be concerned about whether fake information is going around or not. So why is the censorship fear still there? I don't know.